Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bytes and Books. I am Miss Tasha from WFSU Public Media, your PBS station, and I have with me today Miss Haley.
Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Haley. I also work with Miss Tasha at WFSU, and we're really excited to share with you another great Bytes and Books program. So I have with me as well Miss Mary.
Hi, I am Miss Mary, and I am with Fiddlers, Florida Diagnostic Learning Resource System, and I am the parent service specialist. So if parents out there, if you need any support with your child in the educational realm with exceptional student education, please contact me. And I am going to introduce Miss Luciana.
Hi, I'm Luciana. I am with Poppin, which stands for Parents Offering Parents Information Network, which is under the program, the organization of Family Network on Disabilities. And we serve families that have special needs from birth to age 26. And so we would love to help you out as well.
So all four of us are very excited to see you today to investigate slip or stick. It's all about friction. Today, we are going to start with watching a story with The Cat in the Hat Knows a Lot About That. Then we are going to read Oscar and the Cricket. We're going to talk about what moves and what rolls. Next, we're going to experiment with forces and friction. And we'll wrap it up with Miss Luciana Shares. We ready to jump right in? Here's the episode of Cat in the Hat Knows a Lot About That. Fact or friction.
Okay, Fish. We need you to settle this once and for all.
Absolutely. I am ready to go.
What's the most important superpower? Speed or strength?
Well, that is a very interesting question.
Speed, right? I'm Super Sally, the fastest slider anywhere. Watch. Woohoo! Top that, Nick. You mean Mighty Nick. Watch this, Fish. I am so strong, I can lift this bucket of sand in one hand and lift you in my other hand.
Whoa! Whoa! Easy!
So, speed is the most important superpower, right, Fish?
Yeah, speed is great.
No, strength.
Yeah, strength is very important too.
Fish, you have to make a choice.
How about strength?
Cat? What's strength?
I mixed your superpower speed with your superpower strength and got strength. Isn't that super?
Strength. I wish I thought of that.
Strength is good. It rhymes with strength, the most important superpower. Watch how fast I can zoom down the slide, Cat. I'm Super Sally. Woohoo! Huh?
I hate to point this out, Super Sally, but that wasn't so speedy.
But I just zoomed down a minute ago.
Oh dear.
What is it, Cat?
I'm afraid you've got a serious case of loss of slidiness.
Loss of slidiness? But why would she lose her slidiness?
Well, I don't know that, but I do know where to find out. Let's see. Aha! My frictionary. The number one reason for the loss of slidiness is too much of a force called friction.
A force? You mean like a superpower? What kind of superpower stops someone from sliding fast?
Well, there's no better place to go than the Frictionarium for a fact and friction expedition. Shall we go? Your father won't mind at all if we do.
Dad, can we go to the Frictionarium for a fact and friction expedition?
The Frictionarium? Well, if you don't want to stick around here, I guess that's the place to be.
We can go! We can go!
I know! To the thingamajigger! Buckle up! Flick the jiggamawizzer! Isn't this fun?
Here we go, 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 go! On an adventure, the thingamajigger is up and away!
Go, 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 go! On an adventure, we're flying with the Cat in the Hat today!
Frictionarium's near. Let's all give a cheer. There are slides of all sizes awaiting you here.
Wow! This place is fantastic! I can't wait to zoom down all these slides. Same here!
Well, Super Sally, which slide will it be?
I don't know. There's so many to choose from. Look at that giant loop-de-loop. Not doing that one. What about these slides? Okay, race it to the top. Mighty Nick picks this one. Watch me go! Woohoo! Yeah! Come on, Super Sally. Pick a slide and slide. I'll try this one.
Well, doesn't that look like an excellent choice?
Here I go! Huh? Oh no! My slidiness is still lost. But that doesn't make sense. How come I zoomed and you didn't? Especially since I'm Super Sally. I'm going down your slide to see what happens. Watch this. Whee! Now you've lost your slidiness. But I had it on the other slide. I should try your slide.
Remember what my friend Zippy Zaroo used to say? If at first you don't slide fast, slide again.
All right, here goes. Woo-hoo! Yippee! You did it!
Super Sally got her slidiness back.
Yay, Sally!
Yahoo!
Our turn.
Cat, what are you doing?
Hold on to your fins, because now the sliding begins.
All right, Super Sally is back, and so is my slidiness.
I knew you had it in you.
Sally got her slidiness back on one slide, but not on the other slide. Yeah, what's with that? And why did Nick lose his slidiness on my slide?
Well, now that you mention it, those are excellent questions.
There's only one thing to do.
Please don't say we have to try out the other slides.
We have to try out the other slides.
I think I'll sit this one out, if you don't mind.
All right, Fish, but you'll be missing a whole lot of fun.
Phew!
To the slides!
To the slides!
Ready, set, go!
Slidey. Sort of slidey.
Not all that slidey.
We slid down all the slides. Some were really slidey. And some weren't slidey at all. But we don't know why. What's different? We must be missing something.
Well, you know what I always say? If you look very closely and open your mind, you just might be surprised by the things that you find.
Look very closely? With what?
With the micromaboodle. It makes the smallest things look ginormous, so you can see what's really happening.
Cool! So we can see what's making us slide, or not slide. But if we're all looking, who's going to be sliding?
When you two can't do what you need to get done, it's a good time to call on Thing 2 and Thing 1.
Hello!
Now, let's see. Okay, thing one. Slide down the slidey slide.
What happened? It was too fast to see.
No problem. Let's hit the replay button and take a closer look.
I still don't see anything, Cat. Let's watch thing 2 slide down the not-so-slidey slide.
Let's take a closer look.
Look how rough the slide is. The other slide wasn't like that. It was smooth. I think you're on to something, Nick. Let's go check. Okay. This slide is super smooth. Let me check this one. This one is really rough. The slide with a rougher surface stopped us. And that must be what makes friction.
Now you've got it. My, aren't you two so clever?
Hey, fish! They've got it!
We can go home! Yay!
Help! Oh no, fish! Super Sally is on the way.
H-E-L-P!
Help! Super Sally's got ya, and Mighty Nick's got you.
Now that's what I call spectacular teamwork.
I'm so glad I got my slidiness back in time to rescue fish.
And I'm even gladder. Can we go home now that we have all the answers?
We don't have all the answers.
We don't?
We still don't know why Sally lost her slidiness at home. I think we have to take a closer look. Look, we don't need the micromaboodle to see what's happening. Yeah, it's covered with bumpy stuff. It's really rough. What is it? I remember. When you showed Fish how mighty you were, you spilled some water and sand on the slide. And when it dried, it made the slide rough. And that's why I had too much friction and lost my slidiness.
And that's why I say, and it's totally true, there simply is nothing that you two can't do. Hey, who turned the rain on?
We have to see if we're right. And there's only one way to know for sure. Let's clean off the slide.
Slide, Super Sally, slide!
Woohoo! Yay! We did it!
And you did it by putting your two superpowers together, just like
Right.
That was a very exciting episode. I don't know that I've ever lost my slidiness.
I have lost my slidiness before. Oh, yes. I remember that very well, losing, halfway down and you stop. So, but we're going to ask you some questions now, and I want you to think about them and think about the answers, okay? And the first question is, which surface would you describe as bumpy, rough, fluffy, smooth, slippery?
There's so many different kinds of surfaces.
I know.
There are. I'm thinking about my pillow is pretty fluffy.
True. True.
And I just went in there and saw Joseph, and I asked him, "Why do you have my robe?" He said, "Because it's so soft and fluffy." So
Yes, yes.
I'm thinking about when I walk outside on a smooth surface and it just rained. Or if somebody just mopped on a tile surface, that's kind of slippery.
Yes, it
Very
is.
slippery.
It is. And sometimes if you walk on your driveway barefooted, it might feel a little bit rough.
That's true.
And when you're riding down the road and the construction workers are working on the road, that can be bumpy. It can be bumpy.
That's true.
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
So why did Thing 2 slow down and stop when he tried to slide down the slide? What happened to his slidiness? Let's think about it.
That's what happened to Sally too, isn't it?
Yes, I think it did.
What was that word that they said?
Starts with an F.
Is it friction?
Friction. That's it.
Friction. Oh, good work.
Friction.
Friction.
Yes.
Something about friction caused Thing 2 to slow down.
So there was friction on the slide.
You're right. Well, let's jump into Oscar and the Cricket, a book about moving and rolling, with this lovely story.
Hey friends, and welcome to Storytime. Today we're going to be reading the story Oscar and the Cricket, a book about moving and rolling by Jeff Waring. Now, stop right there. You know I have a question for you. Today, before we read, we are going to focus on this question. What are the different ways things move? So, the title already says it's a book about moving and rolling. So those are two types of movements we're going to be looking for. Let's see what we come across as we read today. So if this book is about moving and rolling, I think that means we're going to be learning about some things. Now, usually when we learn about things from books, they tend to be informational texts. So that's my other question. Is this going to be an informational text? Is it going to be a story? Can it be both? Let's see. Oscar and the Cricket, a book about moving and rolling by Jeff Waring. One fall day, Oscar was up on the hill when he found something round and red in the grass. So we have a round and red object. What could it be? He sniffed it and nudged it. What could it be? Cricket jumped up. "It's a ball," he said. "You can make it roll. Try pushing it with your paw." So Oscar did. So we have two characters. We have Oscar, who is a kitten, and we have Cricket, who is, you guessed it, a cricket. And it seems like Cricket knows a lot about things. He was able to say, "Oh, that's a ball," when Oscar wasn't sure about what it is. Because Oscar's a kitten, it makes me think he might be new to a lot of things and he's experiencing a lot of the world for the first time. So after Oscar nudged it, let's see what happened. The ball rolled away through the grass and then lay still. "Why did it stop?" Oscar asked. "The thick grass slowed it down," Cricket said. "Try rolling it on the path." That's strange. So Oscar nudged the ball and it rolled, but it stopped. Cricket says it stopped because of what was it again? The thick grass. Cricket says that if we roll it on the path, that will help. But a long branch was lying in the way. "We'll have to move it," Cricket said. "I'm not big or strong enough, but you are, Oscar. Try giving it a pull." "Hurr!" Oscar groaned. Slowly, the branch started to move. Whoa. So now we have a few objects in the story that are moving. First, the red, round ball moved when Oscar nudged it. And now, the long, thick branch is moving because Oscar is pulling it. Now, we would probably pull it with our hands, not with our mouth, but Oscar's a kitten. That's how kittens move things usually. They have to move something big like that. Oscar put the ball on the path and gave it another push. That's kind of like the nudge that we heard about earlier. This time it rolled along and along and along. The smoother the surface you roll it on, Cricket said, the farther it will go. It's rolling in a straight line, Oscar noticed, and it's heading toward... Oh my goodness, what is it heading toward? Looks like a tree. What is going to happen when the ball hits the tree? Will it stop? Maybe it will roll in a different direction. Maybe it'll bounce away. Maybe it'll pop. Let's see. The tree! Bounce. Oh dear, Oscar said. It's all right, said Cricket. The ball hit the side of the tree, and that made it roll in a different direction. Looks like we were right. If we follow this white dotted line that shows us where the ball is going, it hits the tree and bounces in a different direction. For a moment, Oscar stopped watching the ball to look up. All the leaves were swaying and fluttering. More objects are moving in the story. Now this time it's the leaves. What's making the leaves move? Oscar nudging the leaves too? Did he pull it with his mouth? The leaves can move by themselves, Oscar said. It looks like it, Cricket said, but the wind is pushing them and making them move. Ah, it was the wind. No one's making them move, and they can't move by themselves. Does everything need a push to make it move? Oscar asked. What about me? You can move by yourself, Cricket said. Most animals can. Our bodies have muscles to help us. You make a muscle. And he jumped up and down. Moving makes you change shape, Oscar said, laughing. Wait a minute, what does he mean by that? Oscar's watching Cricket move, and Oscar says that Cricket is changing shape as he moves. Let's look at the different pictures of Cricket. Here's Cricket sitting on the tree. First, he jumps up, and here's our first picture. Look at that! In this picture, Cricket's legs are folded up, but in this picture, his legs are sprung out behind him. In this picture is even more different. His legs are farther apart and his wings are up higher. And now in the last picture, that looks a lot like the first one. So when Cricket moves, his body changes shape. Does your body change shape when you move too? Maybe you should get a mirror and see. We can use our muscles to move ourselves and to move other things too, Cricket said. A leafcutter ant can lift 50 times its own body weight in its jaws or its mouth. Wow. A hawfinch can crack a hard cherry pit in its bill. Ooh, cherry pits are really hard, like rocks. A spider monkey can swing its whole body by its tail. What? Their tails must be really, really strong. A dung beetle can push a ball of dung the size of an apple with its back legs. Wow. An elephant can pull down a tree branch with its trunk. Man, elephants must have a lot of big muscles in those trunks. Just then, Oscar saw the ball again lying in the grass. This time, he gave it a great big push. It rolled through some mud, and it rolled through some leaves. Is it slowing down? Oscar asked. Yes, Cricket said, but it hasn't stopped. You gave it such a strong push. Did Oscar use a lot of strong muscles? I think he did. Maybe it will never stop, Oscar said. But just then, a kitten put out a paw and the ball stopped. Hello, said Oscar. I'm Oscar, and this is Cricket. Who are you? I'm Ted, said Ted. Can I play? We've got ourselves a new kitten, a new character to the story. Now, wait a minute. The ball was moving, and then it stopped. The first time the ball stopped, it was stopped by the thick grass. The second time the ball stopped, it hit the tree and bounced off. And now the third time the ball stopped, it was stopped by a character putting his paw on the ball. Interesting. Ted gave the ball a push. Oscar ran after it. Look out, called Cricket. Run, roll, flutter, jump. Everything was moving on the hill. Now wait a second. The first one says run. Which thing on the hill is running? Is the ball running? Nah, it's not the ball. The leaf's not running. Cricket's not running. It must be Ted and Oscar. How about roll? What object is rolling? It's the ball. You got it. What about fluttering? This might be a little confusing. Who's fluttering? Is it Cricket? Or maybe it's this leaf. This one says jump. Well, we definitely know Cricket is the one jumping, so the leaf must be the one fluttering. Everything was moving. Now, our story is over, but it looks like our book has even more to teach us. Thinking about moving and rolling. On the hill, Oscar found out about these things. Getting going. An object needs an outside force, a push or a pull to start it moving. Push the ball, it pulled the branch. The leaves were pushed too, but not by a person, by the wind. Try moving different objects. Which ones can you push? Which ones can you pull? Are there some you can push and pull? The next thing Oscar learned about was keeping going. Once an object is moving, it travels in a straight line unless something gets in the way. In this part of the story, the ball bounced. See if you can make something move in two directions. Try up and down, or forward and backwards. Stop it. An object needs an outside force to make it stop moving too. The stronger the force, the more quickly it stops. Stopping after a short time, that's when it rolled through the thick grass. Stopping instantly, that's when it was stopped by Ted. Stopping after a long time, that's when Oscar gave it a really hard, strong push. Try pushing a ball on a smooth surface and on a bumpy surface. What do you notice? Oscar thinks moving and rolling are great. Do you think so too? I think that is a great place to end our story. What did you think about this? I want you to try the things that the book suggested and then talk about it with someone you love. Maybe your mom and dad, maybe a friend. Tell them all about the things you learned about moving and what makes things move. All right, that's all we have for today, friends. Thanks for coming to Storytime. See you later. Hey, friends, and
what an amazing story. So many things happened in there.
Yeah, there were a lot of different forces and pushing and pulling and all things that happen with just a round object, all the different ways that it can move.
And it sounds like Oscar and the cricket learned a little bit about friction too.
Yes.
Well, let's explore some more.
So friends, today we've got another fun activity for you to do together at your school after we're done watching this Bytes and Books video. we're going to test different types of surfaces to see what can slide or roll down them. So you're going to need a lot of different materials, but they're probably things that you have just hanging out at your house or in your school. So you're going to need some long, skinny pieces of cardboard. Maybe it's a box that's flattened up. I have a video in just a second that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So you might see a few things that you could use that you didn't think of before. I use a recycled cardboard box and a book. Then you want to think about different materials that have different textures to them. So maybe if you've got some bubble wrap or some fabric, some aluminum foil. So think about all the different textures. Is it soft? Is it bumpy? Is it slippery? Is it sticky? What are the different things you could use? And then, of course, you need things that can slide or roll. So you could use round objects like a ball, or maybe you could use a little toy car. Of course, it has wheels that move. Or you could use other round objects like a crayon or a pencil. Because if you've ever seen a crayon or a pencil roll off your desk, you know that it's round and it can move. You might need a magnifying glass. And then, of course, other sturdy materials because you're going to build a ramp. So maybe books or boxes or blocks that you can stack up. So here is an example. This is our friend on the left, Miss Diane, and she is teaching some students this activity that you are going to do. So we can see a couple different examples of a ramp. So we can see on the left side picture that there is a long white ramp, and then there are some boxes stacked up. And we can see that there's some marks on the floor to see how far an object might go. On the right side, we can see another friend who is putting together a big long ramp, and we can see that it's a little bit lower than that one on the right side. So these are just a couple different examples, but I'm going to show you a video example of how you can do this at home.
Hey friends, it's Haley with WFSU Public Media, and I'm here to show you your activity for Bytes and Books today. So we're talking all about friction. Does it slip? Does it stick? How can things roll? So we are going to be doing a fun activity. I'm going to show you how to do it here from my house. So teachers, this is the activity in your Ready to Learn Activities guide, and it starts on page 63 and it runs through about page 65. So friends, what you're going to be doing is you're going to have all sorts of different materials. Of course, you can see here on my table, I've got all sorts of different objects. Of course, we need things that roll. So I've got a little car and I've got a little cat toy, and they are two different kinds of materials. This is hard and it's also slick, and this is round, but it's kind of scratchy. It's got some rope around it. I've got things to make a ramp. So I've got some just recycled plastic that I can stack up. I've also got cardboard boxes that I can stack up. And I've got some flat pieces like this recycled cereal box. And I've also got a long skinny storybook. And then I have a couple other objects as well. I've got this washcloth, which is kind of soft and a little bumpy. I've got aluminum foil, which is slick and shiny. And I've also got some bubble wrap, which is bumpy. And if you rub it a little bit, you stick to it. So this is what you're gonna do. We're gonna build a ramp. So I have to make a little tower. So I'm gonna stack up my boxes, and then I'm going to, let's see, maybe I'll use my storybook. There we go, to make sure it doesn't fall off, of course. And now I've got a little ramp. It's at an angle. And this is what we're gonna start testing. You are going to roll your objects down your ramp, but we're going to change it each time. I need to clear a space. So first, I'm going to take this ball and I'm going to roll it down the ramp and see how far it goes. Got a little plant there, so it stopped it before it went off the table. Kind of went at a slow rate. Let's see how fast the car goes. Whoa! Well, I almost went at about the same rate, and they kind of stopped at the same point. But I have to think about, what's the texture of this book? It's smooth. But what if I made it bumpy? Well, I've got this bubble wrap. I'm gonna wrap it around this book. And I'm not even gonna flatten it out all the way. What do you think will happen if I roll the car down this bumpy texture? Do you think it'll go farther? Do you think it'll go faster? Will it go slower? Will it go at all? Let's test it out. Oh! Did you see that? It's so bumpy and there's so much friction that it got caught. Oh, it got caught, but even when I kind of moved it around, it went nowhere. So the friction really slowed down the car. The bumpiness got caught and it didn't let the car go any further. Let's see what happens with this ball. Oh, that didn't affect it so much. And it flew over here. It didn't bother it so much. Let me try it again. About the same. Ooh. So now let's try something else. I'm gonna take off this. And what if I make the ramp shorter? Will that change anything? Now I'm gonna take my washcloth. It's kind of soft, it's kind of fuzzy. Does it mean it's slick? Is it shiny? No, it's not really slick or shiny. Let's see what happens. Lay it out. I'm gonna roll the ball. Oh, let's try that again. Did it go very fast? No, let's watch it again on the regular surface. Is it almost the same? Was it different? And remember, I also made my ramp shorter. So did that affect it? Wow, but it didn't even roll off the table. So it kind of slowed it down. Let's see what happens with the car. Oh, it got caught. There we go. Oh! Did you see that? Let me try it again. Wow, so the cloth didn't really bother the ball, but the car keeps getting caught on the texture of the cloth. So that's really affecting its friction. I'm gonna try one more. I'm gonna use some aluminum foil. I am gonna try and smooth it out. Now, if you have aluminum foil, I want you to feel it. Describe what it feels like. Is it hard? Is it rough? Is it slick? Is it scratchy? I'll let you decide. So I'm gonna grab my ball in my car. Which do you think will go faster, the ball or the car? Or will they go the same? Let's try. Whoa! Oh, he fell off the table. Let's try the ball. Oh, the ball, fell off the table the other direction. Let me try the car again. I've got it right here. Whoa! So he even kind of spun out. But if you remember, without the aluminum foil, when it was just the book, the car didn't really have as much of a problem. Oh, but you know what? Before, the ramp was higher. So what if I do the aluminum foil with the ramp higher? Gotta get my ramp settled. There we go. So if I do the ramp higher, let's try it. Whoa! Oh my gosh, almost did the same thing, but that also might be because there's a little bit of a drop here. When it comes off of the ramp, it hits the table and it bounces. So there's so many different things for you to experiment with and try. So I've only tried a few different combinations, but now it's your turn to try. So you're going to build a ramp and try out different materials to see if your cars or the balls you might be rolling go further, and if the objects on the ramp help or harm it. Does it make it go faster? Does it make it go slower? And it's all about the friction and the texture of these different materials. So it's up to you to experiment and figure it out.
So friends, as you saw, I had so many different materials that I had to test out and see how far the ball that I was rolling went or how far the car went. And of course, I was recording it by myself, so you couldn't see the whole table. But maybe if you make your ramp on the floor, you might go even further than you expect. And then think about, is the floor, does it have carpet on it, or does it have tile, or is it wooden? That also might affect how far your objects go. So we can't wait for you to test it out after you watch the rest of our Bytes and Books presentation.
Hello, hello. So we have saw a lot about movement. We've learned about when things are slippery and when things are sticky and bumpy and all those different things. And I thought I was going to probably share my screen, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about how important it is to make sure that our parents and our teachers have a smooth transition, because sometimes things can have a lot of friction in our schools and with our kiddos. And so for our parents, what I want to share with you is just a quick little Poppin overview. So what we do is help minimize friction for our children with learning disabilities, minimize friction with our teachers, because what happens is if you are able to have an issue or a problem, what we do for us Poppin, we go in and help parents and teachers learn how to work collaborative so they don't have as much friction. And so going in and using the proper tools that allow things to be smooth, just like when we saw our car go down the book and the aluminum foil, they went down kind of fast and smooth. But when we get the right information and right tools for our children, for our students, for our teachers, everything can kind of go smooth. And so what we do at Poppin is we're parent trainers. We help parents advocate for their children in a healthy way. We help our teachers learn different skills. We help do workshops and different things so that they're lessen the friction. Now, friction is good when we're talking about experiments like what Miss Haley did, but we don't want a lot of friction in our teacher collaboration conferences. So what we do is help minimize that friction so that we can have our children, our students can have the best learning experience. And so that's what we do here at Poppin. And so we hope as our students go through this workshop, go through this experience of learning about how things move and how things go throughout the day, whether they're using balls, whether they're playing with pets or whatever the case may be. As parents, we have to do the same thing when we're advocating and working collaboratively with our teachers. And one of the things that we really, really encourage is helping things be smooth, is awesome communication. So when you communicate properly in the right way, it helps minimize friction. And so we want to thank you again. I'm Luciana Brown with Poppin, and we've just talked about slip and stick and how things move. And we also have Miss Tasha closing out. We have Mary from Fiddlers, and last but not least, Miss Beautiful Haley.
Thanks, friends.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, friends.
We can't wait to see you next time. Take care.